Welcome to Voices of Power, the podcast that explores the extraordinary minds and journeys of individuals who don't just accumulate success, but fundamentally redefine how we interact with the world and address its biggest challenges. Today, we're talking about a name synonymous with personal computing, technological revolution, and unprecedented global philanthropy. Bill Gates.
That's right, Sarah. We're delving into the life of William Henry Gates III, a figure who, for decades, was the face of the software industry, then pivoted to become one of the most influential forces in global health and development. His story is a powerful testament to the impact of vision, relentless work, and the strategic application of wealth for the greater good.
And whether you remember him as the young visionary behind Microsoft, the formidable business titan, or the dedicated philanthropist working to eradicate disease, his life offers profound lessons in innovation, perseverance, and the evolution of purpose. We're going to trace his path from a curious teenager to the world's most powerful software magnate, and then to a global changemaker.
We'll explore his early fascination with computers, the legendary founding of Microsoft, the rise of Windows and its dominance, his strategic retreat from day-to-day operations, and his profound pivot to philanthropy with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His journey isn't just about building wealth, it's about leveraging it to solve humanity's toughest problems.
Prepare to be enlightened, inspired, and perhaps even rethink what true legacy means. This is the story of Bill Gates.
Part 1. The Early Code. From childhood curiosity to a computing dream.
Mark, Sarah, Bill Gates' journey into the world of computing began long before personal computers were a household concept.
Absolutely, Mark. William Henry Gates III was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. His father, William H. Gates Sr., was a prominent lawyer, and his mother, Mary Maxwell Gates, was a businesswoman and civic leader. From an early age, Bill showed a keen intellect and a competitive spirit.
He attended Lakeside School, an exclusive private school in Seattle, where his life truly changed. In 1968, the school acquired a teletype Model 33 ASR terminal and a block of computer time from a General Electric mainframe. This was his first encounter with computing.
And he was immediately hooked. Along with his friend Paul Allen, who would later become his co-founder, Gates spent countless hours programming, learning, and often getting into trouble for exhausting their computer time. They even wrote a payroll program for their school.
Their passion led them to create their first company, Trafo Data, in 1972, developing a system to read traffic counter data and generate reports. While it wasn't a huge success financially, it was an invaluable learning experience in combining software with business.
After graduating from Lakeside, Gates enrolled at Harvard University in 1973, initially planning to study law, but he found himself drawn back to computers. He spent more time in the computer lab than in class, developing an early version of the programming language BASIC.
The pivotal moment came in 1975. Paul Allen saw an article in Popular Electronics magazine about the Altair 8800, one of the first microcomputers. Allen showed it to Gates, declaring it was their chance to create software for this new machine.
Gates famously dropped out of Harvard in his junior year, a decision that, looking back, seems audacious but perfectly logical for him. He moved with Allen to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the Altair's manufacturer, MITS, was located.
In April 1975, they officially founded Microsoft. Their first big success was developing a BASIC interpreter for the Altair, demonstrating that software, not just hardware, was going to be the key to the personal computing revolution. This was the dawn of a new era. Part 2. The Microsoft Empire. Software dominance and global reach. Sarah, Microsoft quickly grew from a small startup into a dominant force, largely thanks to one groundbreaking deal that changed everything.
That's right, Sarah. We're delving into the deal with IBM in 1980. IBM was developing its first personal computer, the IBM PC, and needed an operating system. Gates famously secured a deal to provide MS-DOS, an operating system they acquired from another company, to IBM.
Crucially, Gates retained the rights to license MS-DOS to other computer manufacturers, not just IBM. This was an incredibly shrewd move that laid the foundation for Microsoft's future dominance.
As more companies began producing IBM PC-compatible computers, they all needed an operating system, and Microsoft was ready. MS-DOS became the industry standard. But the real game changer came in 1985 with the release of Microsoft Windows.
Windows wasn't initially a standalone operating system, but a graphical user interface, a GUI, that ran on top of DOS. It revolutionized computing by making it accessible to everyday users with a mouse and icons, moving away from command line interfaces.
The release of Windows 3.0 in 1990 truly cemented Microsoft's lead, selling millions of copies and becoming a cultural phenomenon. This was followed by Windows 95, which integrated the internet browser and became synonymous with personal computing for a generation.
Under Gates' leadership, Microsoft expanded aggressively into other software applications, including Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, which became the ubiquitous productivity suite for businesses and individuals worldwide.
By the late 1990s, Microsoft was an undeniable superpower. Gates became the world's youngest self-made billionaire in 1987, and by 1995, he was the world's richest man, a title he held for many years.
The company faced significant challenges, too, including an antitrust lawsuit from the U.S. government in 1998 alleging monopolistic practices. While the case had lasting implications, Microsoft's core business continued to thrive.
Throughout this period, Gates was known for his intense work ethic, his sharp intellect, and his uncompromising vision for Microsoft's dominance. He was a demanding, hands-on leader who wasn't afraid to challenge his teams. Part 3. The Grand Pivot from Tech Titan to Global Philanthropist.
Sarah, Mark, after decades at the helm of Microsoft, Bill Gates made a profound and unexpected pivot in his life.
He did. While still actively involved at Microsoft, Bill and Melinda Gates established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2000, merging their family foundations. Initially, it was a smaller endeavor, but it rapidly grew into the largest private philanthropic foundation in the world.
This marked a significant shift in his focus. In 2008, Gates transitioned from his full-time role at Microsoft to dedicate the majority of his time to the foundation, later stepping down as chairman in 2014 and fully departing the board in 2020. This was a monumental act of intentional repurposing.
The foundation's mission is audacious: to reduce inequity around the world. Their primary focus areas are truly transformative: global health, eradicating diseases like polio and malaria, poverty alleviation, and improving access to education and sanitation.
Gates applied the same analytical rigor, long-term thinking, and data-driven approach that defined his tech career to the world of philanthropy. He and Melinda conducted extensive research, partnering with experts and organizations worldwide to identify the most impactful interventions.
His commitment to global health in particular has been groundbreaking. The foundation has invested billions in vaccine development and distribution, significantly contributing to the near eradication of polio and driving down childhood mortality rates in many developing countries.
He's also become a prominent voice on major global issues like climate change, advocating for technological innovation to achieve net zero emissions, and on pandemic preparedness, long before COVID-19 made it a mainstream concern.
In 2010, along with Warren Buffett, he co-founded the Giving Pledge, an initiative that encourages the world's wealthiest individuals to commit the majority of their wealth to philanthropy. It has inspired hundreds of billionaires to follow suit, creating a new standard for ultra-high net worth giving.
Despite his immense wealth and influence, Gates has often maintained a relatively private personal life, focused on his family and his work. While his divorce with Melinda in 2021 was a significant personal event, they have both affirmed their commitment to continuing their work together at the foundation.
Part 4. The Enduring Legacy: Innovation, Impact, and Vision for Humanity.
Mark, Sarah, Bill Gates' life story is one of continuous evolution and immense impact. What do you see as his most enduring legacy?
For me, Mark, it's his role as the architect of the personal computing era. He democratized technology, putting a computer on every desk and in every home, which fundamentally reshaped how we live, work, and communicate. His vision for software as the driving force of the industry was truly prophetic.
Absolutely. And then his unparalleled strategic pivot to global philanthropy, he demonstrated that immense wealth when applied with strategic thinking and genuine dedication, can be a powerful force for solving the world's most complex and pressing problems.
He set a new standard for what billionaires can and should do with their fortunes.
He championed evidence-based philanthropy, moving away from simply writing checks to rigorously analyzing impact and investing in solutions that yield the greatest good. His passion for tackling grand challenges, whether it's software bugs or global diseases, is remarkable.
He transformed himself from a relentless business titan who faced antitrust scrutiny to a respected global advocate for the vulnerable. This evolution shows a profound capacity for growth and a shifting perspective on what truly matters.
And that brings us to the end of this profound episode of Voices of Power. Gates's journey reminds us that true success isn't just about what you build for yourself, but what you build for humanity.
Thank you for joining us. If you were as inspired as we were by the extraordinary life of Bill Gates, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll be back next time with another exploration of a life that forged an uncharted path.